So hello everyone, my name is Nikhil. I'm a second year food technology student at University Institute of Chemical Technology, Jalgaon, and I welcome to all of you to your podcast, Kunma Nature. So my dear friends, in our today's podcast, we are going to understand what is the intermittent fasting, how the one person can start intermittent fasting, the mechanism of intermittent fasting, and in the last part, we are going to understand what are the benefits of the intermittent fasting if you wish to follow it. So let's get started. So before going to start, we'll understand what actually fast means. Basically, during the fasting period, we do not eat or drink anything. We completely or partially abstain from eating or drinking anything. Okay, so if we talk about intermittent fasting, it is a pattern which changes in between eating and fasting. In case of intermittent fasting, it is not important what you eat, but it is important when you eat. So the time matters here. So in case of intermittent fasting, the time is a main hero. If we talk about the 90s, then we can see that it is very easy for those people to maintain a healthy weight. But in case of today's world, we are having televisions in our pocket, like in our mobile phones. We are having late night shows. Okay, we are having variety of entertainment channels. So because of which, after the dinner, okay, so we catch up our any favorite snack and just sit in front of the television, or we just scroll the social media. So because of which, we are snacking more on, we are having more food, we are having more energy dense food, more refined food from the supermarkets, like banana chips or anything which is packed food. Okay, so because of which our weight, we are not able to maintain the healthy weight as compared to the people in 90s. So due to which we are going to be obese, we are having many risk of developing type 2 diabetes, okay, many types of cancers. Okay, and at that time there were no computers. Okay, so most of the time the children were you will find them out on the playgrounds playing many kinds of games. So their physical activity is more than that of us. Okay, so due to which they were able to maintain healthy weight than us. So we spend more time on televisions, watching our favorite shows and snacking our favorite snacks. So this whole scene gives us a signal that we completely end our day by only eating and watching television, by sitting at only one place, due to which we are very prone to obesity and overweightness, and we are not having any kind of physical activity also. We are only sitting at one place, so we are having many calories stored in our body in form of fat. Okay, and it increases the risk of type 2 diabetes and many heart diseases. Due to all these effects, there is a need to eat food at a right time in a day. So we should have particular time to eat food, to have a dinner, to have a lunch. Okay, so by which we can get into a phenomenon like metabolic switching. So what is metabolic switching? The logic behind it is that when your body does not get food, that in the long run, that is, you are deprived of food. Okay, and to complete the body needs, your body and our body starts to drop insulin levels, which is further related to burning of the fat. So this phenomenon is called as metabolic switching. So this is about the intermittent fasting. Okay, a basic idea about the fasting. Okay, so now we will see how actually the intermittent fasting works in our body, the mechanism behind the intermittent fasting. Okay, so the largest organ of our body is the liver. So liver serves as the main reservoir of glucose in our body, which is stored in the form of glycogen. So the glucose in our body in the liver is stored in the form of glycogen. So in humans, depending upon the fasting period, depending on the physical activity, like 12 to 24 hours of fasting results in 20% or greater decrease in serum glucose and hepatic glycogen. Okay, and which is accompanied by a switch to a metabolic mode in which non-hepatic glucose and fat-derived ketone bodies and fatty acids are used as energy sources. So basically, when your body is fasting, when you are in the fasting period, you are not having any kind of food from the last 12 or 48 hours or 24 hours. So you are deprived of food. Okay, and in that period, your body starts to use the glycogen present in your liver to produce the energy. But at the end of the day, when the levels of these glycogen starts to deplete, so then our body starts to use non-hepatic glycogen. Hepatic means liver. So the when the hepatic glycogen depletes, then our body starts to use non-hepatic glycogen to produce more energy to perform all the functions smoothly in our body. Intermittent fasting is a fasting method which usually ranges between eating and fasting, eating and fasting, eating and fasting. So in that way intermittent fasting works. We can make intermittent fasting in any specified period of time. For example, there are two rules, 8/16 rule and 10/14 rule. In 8/16 rule, you tend to have food in 8 hours, okay, and then all the way 16 hours you have to totally abstain from eating anything. And in case of 10 to 14 hours, 10/14 hours rule, in that rule you have to eat anything in 10 hours and you have to totally abstain from eating in 14 hours. So in that way, these are the two rules you can follow intermittent fasting. So these are the two most common approaches to follow the intermittent fasting. So this is about the mechanism, how actually the intermittent fasting works in your body. So now if one wish to follow these kinds of this type of fasting, so how he or she should approach. Okay, there are some 3 ways by which he can start, because there are some people who tend to adapt healthy lifestyle easily but some can't. Okay, so for those people, they were having some kinds of provisions in every area, in every parts. Okay, so here there are 3 rules by which they can easily get into these healthy and they can adapt to intermittent fasting. The first is alternate day fasting. With alternate day fast, you are going to eat one day, and on the next day you are not going to have any kind of food, and on that fasting day you are going to fast alternately. Like on the first day you are having food, on the second day you are not having food, on the third day you are having food, on the fourth day you are not having again food. So on the fasting day you should only have water, because it increases the metabolism rate in your body. So basically it increases the rate of fat loss in our body. So it is always recommended in an alternate day fasting that you should have only calorie free beverages, that is water, on fasting days. The second way is 5:2 diet. Basically there are 7 days in a week, all we know. So 7 days are there in a week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So these 5 days you can have your regular meal, 2-time meal, you are going to have your regular food. But on the 2 days like Saturday and Sunday, you are going to limit your intake of calories to 500 calories to 600 calories. So one again time, you have to eat all the 5 days normally, and on the 2 days you should limit your intake of calories to 500 calories to 600 calories, because of which your body will be in a balanced condition. Or you can make anything, like for example you eat normally on 5 days, so you can have Saturday, so you can fast on Saturday and on Monday. So because of it you can follow consecutive day also, but if you not wish to follow on consecutive days like Saturday and Sunday, so some people may feel weakness if they do straight continuously 2 days. So you can also have 5:2 diet on Saturday. You can have fast day on Saturday and another fasting day on Monday. So there will be a gap of 1 day in between these 2 fasting days. So this is about 5:2 diet. The third way is time restricted eating. In time restricting eating, you have to follow 8/16 rule or 10/14 rule, as I have stated earlier. So in these 3 ways you can approach your intermittent fasting, so which will gonna give you more confidence, like you can follow this type of diet. Then you can start alternate day fasting. So basically starts with these, like 5:2 diet, then alternate day fasting. Alternate day fasting is much harder, but you can definitely try 5:2 fasting, 5:2 diet, and then time restricted eating, that is 8/16 rule, 10/14 rule. So in this way you can approach intermittent fasting. If you are going to try intermittent fasting, then the first question will arise in your mind, that is there any specific conditions of eating anything, like any pattern, any food that should be eaten in intermittent fasting, so let me tell you one thing. There are no specifications of food that you should eat in case of intermittent fasting, as well as no restriction on type of food. Only matters here the time. The time is the main hero in case of intermittent fasting. Main motive of anyone to follow intermittent fasting is to lose their weight. Suggestions on what to eat in intermittent fasting, it will be the same as the people, as the nutritionist advised you to eat in weight losing. Okay, to lose your weight, so you should be more focused on eating nutrient dense food like fruits, vegetables, veggies, whole grains and beans and dairy and many other dairy products. Some examples like you should have whole grains, probiotics, nuts, eggs, potatoes, avocados, and you should drink plenty of water, because having plenty of water will increasing your metabolism rate, so because of which you will lose your weight more faster and much easily. So this is about what you should eat in intermittent fasting and what you were going to follow all these things. So at the end of the day, you are going to see some results, like what are the benefits of following intermittent fasting. So there are going to be multiple benefits of following intermittent fasting. The first is it helps to lose the weight, as I have stated earlier. So basically people follow intermittent fasting for losing weight. So basically what happens in intermittent fasting, that in that scenario, like we are deprived of food, we are deprived of energy, our body, we are not deprived of energy, we are deprived of food. Our body starts to use energy stored in our liver as well as in our fats in the form of glycogen. So glycogen is present in our body in the form of fat. It is present in the fats. So basically it helps to burn out the excess fat on our body, on our belly area, which helps us to cope up with obesity, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. Okay, so they are having multiple benefits. The second is it maintains good heart health. As I have stated earlier, the person who is not overweight, he is healthy, his weight is healthy, so he will going to have low sugar levels, low blood pressure, not high blood pressure. He will going to have healthy value of blood pressure. Then he will going to have less LDL cholesterol, that is bad cholesterol. The third benefit is it helps to prevent the cancer. Fasting shows many beneficial effects on the metabolism, which may reduce the risk of cancer in our body. Research has shown that it can also help to reduce the side effects of chemotherapy. For example, the person who has gone through chemotherapy, so basically you are going through radiations, you are going from a treatment from radiations, then it is obvious that you are going to experience some side effects. So it also helps to reduce the intensity of side effects. And it also helps to improve the capacities of brain. It reduces the inflammation, it reduces the oxidative stress. If you want to know about the oxidative stress, then please check out the description. I have given the link about the article in the description. So it increases the growth of neurons. Okay, so in that way, the intermittent fasting, let me tell you one thing. If you are going to fast one day, so you are giving rest to all your GIT, your gastrointestinal tract, your digestion physiology, your digestion structure. So it will going to thank yourself, it will going to thank you. Okay, so that you are taking care of it, you are having exercise, you are having much more physical activity than before by following this kind of diet. Okay, so it will going to give you multiple benefits, including everything, your health benefits, your heart diseases, anything. You can't even imagine what benefits it will going to give you. For example, some people do fast on Tuesdays, on Thursdays. Okay, so according to their religion. So in that way, so it is also a good thing that you are having a fast at least once in a week. You are not having any kind of food on that day. You are giving rest to your all body, your GIT, your digestion mechanism. Okay, so it will going to give you multiple health benefits. And before implementing any kind of fasting, any kind of intermittent fasting, keep in mind that you should firstly consult with your physician, your doctor, before going to follow any extreme fasting. Okay, like intermittent fasting, alternate day fasting. So if he agrees to agrees to that condition, then you can easily follow all these diets. And if you directly follow this diet, then it may cause you some symptoms, like you can feel nausea, headaches, unusual anxiety, because you are not having any food for almost 16 hours, 24 hours. So in this way, the intermittent fasting works. So we understand what is intermittent fasting, what is fasting actually, what is intermittent fasting, what is the mechanism of intermittent fasting, how the mechanism works in your body, in our body. Then we understand what are the ways, what are the 3 ways by you should approach intermittent fasting. Then we understand what you can eat in intermittent fasting. Then we understand what are the benefits. There are multiple benefits of intermittent fasting. So if you tend to follow this diet, firstly consult with doctor. And that's it for today's podcast, guys. If this podcast has added any value to your life, then please like and share the love and see you the most. Until next time, stay tuned, stay safe, stay healthy. See you soon in the next one. Bye bye.